Matt Gaetz now, a co-sponsor of that resolution to impeach Rod Rosenstein. First of all, was the House Speaker, did I hear him correctly, was he calling this effort cavalier compared to what it should be?
It was very frustrating to hear the Speaker call our efforts cavalier when I think it's pretty cavalier of the Justice Department and Rod Rosenstein to ignore congressional subpoenas. I think it's cavalier when they tell witnesses not to answer questions. I think it's real cavalier when they redact information that has nothing to do with national security. It's just embarrassing to people at the FBI or Department of Justice. And it might be the most cavalier thing of all for Rod Rosenstein to have signed an application, a renewal to spy on an American based on information at that time they knew was from someone who had lied to them. Christopher Steele, the guy who wrote the dossier, lied to the FBI. Rod Rosenstein knew that and was so cavalier that he thought that his information was still a basis to spy on people associated with the Trump campaign. We need our leadership to be leaders, and we need them to stand with us for the sake of the institution of the Congress to perform our necessary oversight.
Wow, you found 11 ways or so to use the word that the Speaker used in your argument there, and certainly very serious about this, perhaps even see a pop-up after the August recess. I'm asking because you were so close when this came up. To even try to put this on the House floor would have been difficult because you leave for summer tomorrow, but will we see this come back if you don't get those documents?
Yeah, we will. And on almost daily basis, Harris, you have people on this show that talk about the document deadlines and the delays and the redactions. And the question that I get from so many of my constituents is, what are you going to do about it? Are there going to be any consequences, or will the Congress continue to just be feckless in their oversight? Now, we have drawn a line in the sand. If we do not get this information, we are going to fight for impeachment proceedings to begin. We'll need the support of our leadership in that endeavor, but if they don't support us, I mean, what are we doing here, Harris? We need to be able to perform oversight, especially on a matter so important when it comes to abuses and spying on political rivals.
Congressman Gaetz, I want to just touch on this too. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy said that he would like to see this go through regular order. We know that members of the Freedom Caucus have said that regular order is something that really needs to be there at every account. This actually would not have followed that protocol. You now have more time. Does it get you to bring on board some of these leaders that you're talking about?
No, that's a great point, Harris. I would love for the Judiciary Committee under regular order to schedule the hearing on impeachment in the event that we do not get the documents that tell us whether or not intelligence was incorrectly collected against the Trump campaign. So we're all about having a regular order hearing in the Judiciary Committee. What we will not stand for is to simply be silenced and to be told that, well, you know, the Justice Department and the Speaker's office, they're negotiating and setting new deadlines. We've done this for more than a year now. It's time to get the witnesses, get the documents, get the answers for the American people, or have some folks face the consequences for their inaction.
All right, Congressman, I'm glad you are still with me because we've had some news break in the last few minutes that I want to get your take on. The New York Times is reporting that Special Counsel Robert Mueller is looking at the president's tweets about former FBI Director James Comey and Attorney General Jeff Sessions. I see you smiling there. He's looking now to broaden his already rather broad investigation for evidence of obstruction of justice via these tweets. Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani is reportedly dismissing his interest as part of an effort to just sink the president. And you say what?
Harris, if we're going to start investigating for people for mean tweets in Washington, D.C., I think we're going to need a whole lot more special counsels. The Mueller probe is so baseless against the president, they're literally down to trolling tweets. It reminds me of the text messages between Peter Strzok and Lisa Page in May, where they were saying there's no there there. This was 7 months after the investigation that the FBI began into Russian collusion, and they were saying there's no there there. Now there's such an absence of fact as to collusion that Robert Mueller is literally having to troll tweets. I think it highlights the absurdity of the entire endeavor.
Congressman, that is a fascinating comparison that you just made. Because you're talking about potential bias inside the FBI via messages that were different than a tweet where you put it out there and people can kind of interpret what you said. These were between two lovers at the FBI, very direct and easy to understand by both parties in the world to look at it. And you compare that to just taking a look at tweets. Now, Judge Napolitano said it's a possibility that this just lengthened out the investigation.
Well, possibly, and we know that Mueller does not want to hand his report to a Republican Congress. I think that there's an element of the Mueller probe that's waiting on the Trump piece in the hopes that somehow Democrats will take control, and that's why